Welcome. My name's Hamish Taylor, and today we are going to talk about light and how crucially important it is to your health. And I'm just tweaking my board so the light isn't shining on it, so you can hopefully see that better. So welcome in. This is a slightly different venue from my previous videos, and I wanted to be a bit more dynamic and stand up and draw on this whiteboard to give you some ideas of what I'm trying to explain and how important it is to your health to get your light right. So the involvement in light in our health is extremely complex and ancient. And one of the things that we need to get right is understanding what our hormones are doing in relation to this light. So there's a few things that we're going to discuss here in relation to your hormones and how light affects that throughout the day, and also about what you can do about it to make those changes, and also how it impacts on your eyes and what that does to our body. It's a pretty profound process, and I'm really delighted to share this with you today. Now, here's a disclaimer, because none of this is technically medical advice, and we'll crack on with what I want to explain. So the first hormone that we really need to understand, and it works in close relation to another, but both of these are serotonin and melatonin. So the first one, serotonin. This is not to scale, but serotonin effectively should climb in the morning, stay reasonably level, and then drop away in the evening time. So here we are with AM and PM and the evening. When we have serotonin in the right levels, it does a huge amount of good for our body. It keeps a huge amount of our mood stability working well. It also helps to manage our gut rhythms, and that's important. Most people don't realize that, in fact, most of the serotonin, some studies say up to 95% of the serotonin in the body is used and produced in your gut, not in your brain. And the other hormone that is very important and has a close working relationship with serotonin is melatonin. And essentially that is nice and high in the morning, and it drops down very quickly in the morning and then comes back up again in the evening. So this is melatonin, and this one here is serotonin. Now, something that is important to know and crucial in this whole discussion is that serotonin is vital for the production of melatonin. It doesn't work the other way round, and essentially serotonin is required to make melatonin. So in the evening, you've got this conversion of serotonin into melatonin. And somewhat obviously, if you don't have enough serotonin in your body, then you are not going to have enough to make into melatonin in the evening. Now, why is melatonin so important? Well, melatonin is important, as most people have heard of, because it helps to regulate your sleep. But one of the things that's reasonably recent in melatonin research is that it's also an extremely important brain-derived antioxidant and essential cleaner of the brain. And if you've ever suffered from jet lag, or if you've ever had a massive night out without too much drinking necessarily, but you've stayed up all night for whatever reason, you will know that your system can get considerably out of kilter. And that extraordinary feeling of jet lag is often when you try and get the cleaners into the brain whilst you're trying to use it at the same time. One of the analogies I like with this is the boardroom. Obviously your brain's got a lot of executive function going on, but you can't have the cleaners in the boardroom at the same time as the executives are trying to make big and important and quick decisions about the running of the process. You can't have the cleaners wiping down the table, hoovering around, and cleaning the windows, etc. Sorry, vacuuming, I think we have to call it, but gives my British roots away. So you can't have them cleaning everything and emptying the bins whilst the executive function or the board meeting is going on. Neither can do their job well. So melatonin and serotonin work a little bit like that, in the sense that one is keeping you active and engaged and involved with your life, and the other one is literally shutting everything down and getting all the cleaners in place. And it's important that we understand that serotonin makes melatonin, and it's crucial for this whole process. So what happens and what makes all the difference to the production of serotonin is light. And here I am drawing it in blue on purpose, and this sunlight, or this blue light, is crucial for your production of serotonin in the morning. And if we don't have a decent amount of blue light first thing in the morning, then we can end up with a considerable debt in serotonin throughout the day, never really getting ourselves started, and then turning to all sorts of other stimulants to try and get things going properly, and then we don't have enough serotonin to make melatonin in the evening. So at this time of year, I strongly recommend, if you're living in the UK and it's not bright or you're not getting outside early, then you need to get yourself a light box. A light box is a crucial bit of kit for helping your body work well. Now, what's great about light boxes is that they are a medical instrument and classed as such in the UK. And in the UK, we have a VAT on a lot of things, but VAT is not applicable to medical devices. So light boxes are VAT free, which is quite interesting because if the government endorses the fact that it works, then it's a pretty rigorous process that has to be gone through to get to that status of not needing to charge VAT on your product. A little bit of an aside, but a strange sort of backdoor endorsement of these light boxes. Now, light boxes are extremely important because they provide you with that blue wavelength light. And this is something that I want to talk about now in relation to your eye. So I'm going to draw an eyeball here. I'm going to just get rid of this bit of blue light here and draw an eyeball. So here is your eye with the lens at the front here and the retina at the back. And why is this important? Because we have got, essentially, whenever we stand up, and in fact at any time, we have got a horizon line. The horizon is crucial and important for this whole process. And when we've got light high up in the sky, and obviously this is not too high because of my drawing, it comes through the lens and hits the bottom part of the retina. And that is crucial to understand because when light is nice and high, hitting the bottom part of the back of the eye really helps to stimulate serotonin production. And that's crucial and it needs to be bright, and that's why getting outside with a whole dome of light above you is so important during the day and particularly in the early morning. And this is how all our ancestors would have existed quite obviously throughout that time. So the other thing that now becomes reasonably obvious and something that is crucial for this whole process is light that comes from the bottom or below our horizon line and hits the top part of our retina. Now I've drawn this in red for a reason. This would have naturally been, especially for human beings anyway, it would have been fire. And fire and candlelight and this low level red light is absolutely vital for helping to drop this serotonin level and allow the melatonin level to increase. And what lots of people don't realise is there's this actual, not just level of light, the red or the blue, and the intensity of those wavelengths, but actually the physical level of the light changing throughout the day. And this is why it is so important, if you are going to be using a light box, that you need to have your light box high up in the morning, and we can talk about how often to use it, but essentially it should be really quite intuitive. Have it high up, and it should be just above your brow line, so it's not directly in your eyes. You shouldn't be blinded by it. And there are lots of different studies that suggest lots of different timings, but you be intuitive about it. But one thing that's absolutely certain, even if you don't get to use it in the morning, is try and turn it off, or remember to turn it off by about 1500. So at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you should really be lowering that level of light down. And that doesn't mean just lowering the blue spectrum of light down, it means physically lowering the light lower. So candles, yes, okay, make your own safety judgment on all of that, but certainly your fires and your low level light should be not just lower level in light, but as you're getting the idea now, they should also be physically below your horizon line. And that can make a huge difference in helping you to convert your serotonin into melatonin. And this is what's so important and what so many people get so wrong, and they sit in front of their screens, which are usually below their horizon line. So if they don't have a good filter and you don't have the right settings on it, then this is heading up to the top of your eye, and this is usually blue light on your screens or on your television below that horizon line, and that is something that is always going to upset your natural rhythms, your circadian and your diurnal rhythms, which are so controlled by these hormonal changes. So one of the things that I want to recommend, as I've already said, is a light box, but also want to recommend some blue light blocking glasses. And the links for both of these things will be in this video down below, and you can make your own decision about that as you go. So hopefully I can dovetail these two short videos together, because there was a little bit of an interruption there, way beyond my control. But we were talking about blue light blocking glasses. And these have come on a long way in the last few years, and they are not nearly as intrusive or as unfashionable as they once were. And again, if you're watching TV at night, or if you're looking at your screens, or you've got to do some work that requires you to be at your computer, then certainly wearing some blue light blocking glasses is going to be very beneficial to helping you improve your long-term health. So I hope that's made a difference. I hope that's helped understand and just demystify a couple of things about serotonin and melatonin, light levels, not just in brightness, but also physical level in relation to your horizon line. And I hope that, as I say, has undone a few mysteries, and we'll see you next time.